Hi, good afternoon. I'm Christian Marcucci, the Head of Communications at Staffordshire County Council. And I'm joined this afternoon by Josie Morris, the Managing Director at Woolcool, the thermal insulation packaging specialist based in Stone. And we're going to talk to you today about a hugely exciting piece of work that's about building pride in Staffordshire, raising our profile regionally and nationally, and growing our economy. It's about creating a new story for Staffordshire, a compelling place brand, and an ambitious new approach to marketing this great county and all we have to offer. And we do have so much to offer here. So before we do that, what is a place brand? Well, basically, it's a tool that you need to successfully tell the story of your place. At its heart, you need a really strong narrative that captures all the key elements of your place: the location, the culture, the history, your future aspirations, and the community as well. And that needs to be supported by a toolkit of imagery and visuals that tell that story. What a place brand isn't is a logo and a strapline. It can certainly include those things, but it needs to be much, much more than that. So where's this come from, and what do we want to achieve? Basically, this is a piece of work that was commissioned by Network Staffordshire, which is coming together of public and private sector place leaders from across the county. It includes representatives and the vice chancellors from the two universities, council representatives, the chair of the LEP, police, fire, NHS representatives as well, who come together to discuss a range of place leadership issues and projects, one of which was place branding. And there was a real sense that Staffordshire lacked that compelling place brand. And while a number of organisations across the patch do elements of place marketing, it's not consistent enough, it's not collaborative enough, and it needs to be done better. So there were 5 kind of key areas that the network wanted to achieve. The first of them clearly being that new, clear, compelling brand itself, then supported by a really strong visual identity and a marketing plan, underpinned by an ambassadors program. So that's basically going out and finding key influencers across the county who would be the sales force for this new brand and plan, to ensure that this work then complements and connects with the place marketing that's already happening across Staffordshire, as I've already mentioned, and also to think about what infrastructure we need to put in place to ensure that this is a sustainable piece of work. This isn't a standalone campaign or a project. This needs to be a sustainable work stream moving forward that, as I say, is about raising Staffordshire's profile beyond our borders. And in terms of developing that brand, there's 5 questions really that matter. What's Staffordshire for? Who it's for? What makes this county special? And you note the word special there, not unique. Lots of areas try and talk about their USP and what makes them unique. Very few areas anywhere are particularly unique. What's more important is what makes Staffordshire special, what our ambitions are for the future, and therefore what's our story. And why is this important? Well, basically, it's about raising Staffordshire's profile and promoting our county to businesses, investors, developers, visitors, so that more people come here, invest and spend locally, and ultimately put more money in Staffordshire people's pockets. It's about raising our profile with government and strengthening our hand when we bid in for either funding or powers to do the things that we want to do here in Staffordshire. It's about competing for talent and resources in a global marketplace as well. And given the economic impact of coronavirus and the upcoming impact of Brexit, this work is now more important than ever. Why use Staffordshire? Staffordshire's a big place, very diverse, from the moorlands right down to South Staffordshire, a very, very different county. Why using the county's name is about added value and being part of a bigger story. And to give you probably an example from elsewhere, if you think about towns like Harrogate and Whitby, or a city like Leeds, they're places with really strong identities and offers. But they also benefit from being part of that incredible brand of Yorkshire as well. So that's why here we're talking about place layering, about parts of the county being part of that Staffordshire brand and quality, so that we can work together and collectively raise the bar and compete for that talent and those resources that I've already mentioned. So what do we do? Well, I was working with Network Staffordshire, commissioned one of the leading place marketing agencies in the country called Thinking Place. They've worked with a range of cities, counties, places across the UK and across the island of Ireland to develop their place stories. Notably, they've worked with both Hull and Coventry, supporting those two places to successfully bid in for the City of Culture, with all the associated benefits that come with that moniker. And Thinking Place have come in and worked with us initially on a huge piece of stakeholder engagement to help develop that new story. We also established a steering group who would work alongside Network Staffordshire to guide this piece of work moving forward. And that steering group consisted of representatives from our universities, from business, including Josie, who you'll be hearing from a little bit later, was a member of our steering group, representatives from the SSLEP and from our existing place marketing bodies like Make It Stoke-on-Trent and Staffordshire, and Enjoy Staffordshire as well. And Thinking Place, through the spring and over the summer, carried out a wide piece of research, immersion visits as well, which were somewhat difficult during a pandemic, but to get a real flavour of the place. Most importantly, they went out and spoke to a range of kind of key stakeholders and influencers from across the public, private sector. They spoke to groups of young people, businesses, community leaders, developers as well, and people from beyond Staffordshire too, across the Midlands. They ran a series of public workshops and also hosted an online survey to get a really good sense of people's perceptions of this county, of our opportunities, of our flaws as well. And here's what they said, and I warn you now, this is a bit of an emotional roller coaster in terms of some of the feedback that we had, but starting on the positives, some great stuff in here. People saw Staffordshire as surprising, credible potential. Great one there, saying that it's got everything a place needs, picked up on its location, the fact we are a hidden gem, and clearly have that rich industrial heritage as well. In terms of some of the challenges though, and I won't read all of this out, I'll pick out a few kind of elements, but clearly there's real disparities across the county. It's very different identities in a sense that parts of Staffordshire are really underrated, underappreciated. We don't perform on a national stage. We seem out of date in some senses. We're at loss between the two second cities in the country, seen as a drive-through county, a bit second rate. And there's issues around both our county town and the city as well. This sense that we're a place between higher profile things. Also, a real sense that we're asset rich. We've got assets in Staffordshire to die for, whether it's our tourist attractions, the great outdoors, you name it. But for some reason, we're perception poor. As I say, slap bang between England's two second cities, but not making the most of the potential relationships there. Seen as that pass-through county, M6 allowing at speed. Bit anonymous, bit average, it'll do. And a lack of aspiration and ambition. As a reminder, this is what key stakeholders and people in Staffordshire and around our borders were saying about us, but also saying that we just need to be bolder. We need to go for it. We need to pump up the value of what we have to offer in this fantastic place. Thinking Place also, as well as the qualitative data that they've mined from the stakeholders, are some more quantitative questions for people's perceptions of the place. And ask people, for example, is Staffordshire welcoming? Resounding yes to that one. Some real pluses on this page around value, around this being a great place to live. But the numbers around us being vibrant, around us being somewhat complacent, are key areas that we need to focus on. And to the next page, yes, seen as a creative place, but a real lack of confidence. Seen as a good place to visit, good place to do business, and a fantastic place to grow a family. And Thinking Place, from all the research that they've done in various places around the country, have said that it's very rare to find an area where you get scores in the 90 or plus percentile. And to have, us seen as welcoming, great value, good place to live, and a great place to grow a family, I think is a really strong base to work from. So clearly this is a very short summary of an awful lot of research, just to give you a real flavour of what people were saying about the county. So the next task for Thinking Place was to look at how do we start to change these perceptions? What do we focus on? And in our new story, there are three key themes that will be the drivers and the pillars around which all of our activity will be based. And the first of those themes picks up on those attractions, the fact that we are attraction central. Everything from the great outdoors, incredible offer around walking, cycling, mountain biking, whether that's at Cannock Chase or up at the Peak District and the moorlands. That brings with it an amazing quality of life. And in the times that we're living in at the moment, the huge benefits that has for people's mental health and well-being, having that space to breathe. And how they've encapsulated that is Staffordshire being active, adventurous, and fun. The next theme they've looked at concerns the economy and everything from the Industrial Revolution and our incredible industrial heritage, right through to more modern day successes like investments at I-54, the fact that we are home to major global brands like JLR, JCB. We've got an incredible education offer, for example, the medical school and the Science and Innovation Park up at Keele, to the offer at Staffordshire University in particular around gaming, and also looking at our SMEs and startups and tech businesses, which are continuing to grow and expand in the county. And this theme has been encapsulated as Staffordshire inspiring and applying ingenuity. And the final theme goes back and picks up on that kind of life opportunity here in the county. Back to that physical, mental well-being, the fact that we can offer incredible value for money here in Staffordshire as a place to live, that we're minutes from the great outdoors, wherever you are in the county, family friendly, great history and heritage, brilliant attractions, and good education. And this final theme is around Staffordshire cherishing our natural livability. And these three themes are not public-facing straplines or slogans. They are the pillars of our story around which all of our activity will be based. Now, sitting above those three themes is a big idea, which really talks about what Staffordshire is about, what we stand for, what we believe in. Our kind of strategic signature or statement of intent. And this picks up on our location. In between becomes the heart of. It also picks up on what we have to offer here, the fact we've got the world capital of ceramics, the National Forest, the National Football Centre, our National Park, the National Brewery Centre, and the fact that we offer great value as a place to live, as a place to do business, as a place to visit. So the big idea for Staffordshire, again, picking up on a few other places here, great place to start a family, a business, great place to stop and visit, live, study, you name it. That big idea is Staffordshire, nationally valued centre of the UK. So here's our story in terms of the big idea and the themes. Nationally valued centre with active, adventurous and fun. We aspire and apply ingenuity and cherish our livability as well. Now, in terms of supporting and telling that story, we need to do it in a visual way and again, change perceptions by the images that we project of our county. So Thinking Place have commissioned a range of new photography that will accompany all of our place marketing work moving forward. We'll also sit alongside existing photography that we have in abundance from our economy and from our visitor offer as well. And I'll just give you a quick flick through a number of those images. But before doing so, there were some key kind of themes that came out of the research that were really important when we commissioned that photography and that we wanted to demonstrate. In particular, the great outdoors, the nature, the greenness of Staffordshire. We want to project that confidence that's been lacking in our place marketing activity to come across as ambitious, as playful, but also attractive and centered as well. So here we go with the photography. This is about demonstrating Staffordshire's economy, our workplaces, and countering those perceptions of a lack of vibrancy, showing those modern, innovative businesses, and workplaces that you wouldn't associate with Staffordshire, that you'd think more of being found in the big cities around and about us. Great picture there of our hipster-looking lecture as well at Ridgewell, but as well our traditional industries too important. So this is our young farmer of the year, who's actually a tenant farmer on one of the county council's farms just outside of Stafford. Also showcasing our amazing attractions in Staffordshire, which will be familiar to many of you. And also showcasing the great outdoors, that fantastic nature offer and incredible gardens and homes that we have to visit here in the county, as well as our rich heritage and that link back to ceramics. And what you'll notice from all of these pictures is they're not just pictures of places, they're pictures of people interacting with the places and people enjoying what we have to offer here in Staffordshire. Whether it is the great outdoors, whether it's our great nightlife that we have here, and let's hope we get back to that again very soon. A wonderful canal network too, and that kind of contribution to the quality of life that we offer here, as well as our arts. And the boutique shopping offer that we have in places such as Leek. And also finally, how we're reimagining our history and heritage as well, with the fantastic library down at Lichfield in the converted church. So using our history and reimagining it in modern, vibrant ways. So that's a snapshot of the photography. Photography is then supported by a visual language, and this is a way of kind of bolting your story and photography together, acting as kind of the glue. And this visual language can be really flexible, so it can be quite subtle and in the background, a bit of a watermark, or quite full on and in your face. And it's been designed for a range of different partners and stakeholders to use. This isn't, for example, replacing the branding for the county council or any other organisation. This is to be used alongside when we're promoting Staffordshire as a place. And that can be used by public sector partners, it can be used by private sector partners, businesses, education institutions, you name it. And again, in terms of what that needs to project, it's about lifestyle, it's about confidence, modernity, being youthful, desirability of this county. And here it is. So as you can see, a new logo and imagery for the county, which takes its inspiration in some senses from the Staffordshire knot and the curvature of that, with a really modern, clean typeface. And this visual language is supported by a design style, use of kind of a window system that's ultimately flexible, depending on what aspect of our story that you're talking about, whether it's nature and the great outdoors over there on the right, to a specific part of our offer here, such as the National FA Centre over near Burton on the left, or more broadly, we're talking about future industries with the imagery around kind of circuit boards and R&D there in the centre. We can apply this visual language across a whole range of different mediums and for a range of different purposes. Again, this is looking at kind of industry used across print and digital. You can use it in displays. Again, picking up on just textures here, such as the mountain biking or walking in places like Cannock Chase or up at the Roaches in the Peak District. Again, harking back to nature. We can also use it for festivals and events and our arts and culture offer for ceramics. Again, back to that industry and economy. Also, there's that incredible offer that we have in terms of our theme parks here in Staffordshire. The football centre is mentioned, and echoes of brewing at the bottom of that display. I think where this gets really interesting is where you start to blend the window system with the photography to showcase what Staffordshire has to offer in a really kind of modern, crisp, clean way. And the next slides, what these start to show is how potential partners could start to use it across their materials. So, for example, I hope the lecturer doesn't mind us pinching his website as an example of just using the curved elements of the visual language in a really subtle way at the top of the page there. Alternatively, you can draw elements of the visual language in the bottom. As I say, this is about kind of a subtle watermark approach as well, rather than being full on in your face with the visual language. So there you have it. As a reminder, that's the story. Staffordshire, nationally valued centre, place that's active, adventurous and fun, inspiring and applying ingenuity, and cherishing our livability as well. At this point, I'm going to hand over to Josie Morris from Woolcool, who'll give you the business perspective and talk through her involvement as well through the steering group.
Thanks, Christian. I didn't bring my tie with me today, so apologies. Hello, everyone. I'm Josie, and I'm Managing Director of Woolcool. We are based within Stone in Staffordshire. I've been asked to kind of just go through from a business perspective where I see the value of this brand. If we go to the next slide, I have to say that, I'll be honest, when I first heard about this happening, I wasn't sure. I guess I was a bit skeptical and I wasn't quite sure how this would work and what it would feel like, but I was lucky enough to be involved in the steering group around this. And what I began to realise through the steering group was what an opportunity this was for Staffordshire and particularly for the business sector. I think I'm Staffordshire born and bred. I went away to Birmingham and came back from my job. And I think one of the things that really struck me about this isn't, initially about the business community. It's about Staffordshire as a whole, of which we have some amazing businesses within the community, within the county that we should be shouting about. And I think the foundation for this branding is actually around an opportunity to build on the Staffordshire brand, but also for businesses to almost benefit from what that will bring. And the wider opportunity is for a kind of a fragmented, I think Christian touched upon this, a bit of a fragmented county to actually have an image that they, each areas have their own image, but as a county, we also have an image. The amount of times I've heard when people ask me where I'm from and I say Staffordshire, I've heard the comment, oh, I've been through there on the train, or I've driven through there on the M6, or I've got stuck between 15 and 16. So generally, I see it as a really great opportunity to become a destination and to show the strength that Staffordshire has. And then also community. It kind of links to both business and Staffordshire as a whole. But I think it's quite important for every business to have their own unique identity, but also there is a strength in being part of something bigger, and particularly where you have the public, the private and the third sector working together around that kind of image. And then I guess my bit in this is not to repeat what Christian has said, but actually to talk about the business opportunities. And I think the first and foremost thing to kind of promote here is that this isn't about Staffordshire dominating a brand or dominating a business or dominating any website. This is about it being kind of a subtle nod to the fact that we're proud to be Staffordshire based and that we're proud to be linked to such a great county with great opportunities. In a great place in the country. Let's be honest, you can get anywhere within a few hours, and our links are incredible in terms of transport. And also we have a relatively low warehousing and office costs versus some of the cities. So I think there's an opportunity to promote that. And I believe the only way to do that is by getting everyone on board and people saying the same thing about the area and stopping this, oh, it's Staffordshire-based business, or it's Staffordshire, is actually moving towards, yeah, we're Staffordshire and we're proud. We've got some great pottery industry. We've got some great tech companies. And as I was saying, a really great position in the country. So I think if we move to the next slide, business is obviously intrinsically linked to the community, and I think the opportunity with this branding is to make Staffordshire more desirable. So first and foremost, businesses are driven by the people and the skill set, and it's around attracting people to the area. It's around showing people what we've got to offer as a family, as not only a place for young people, but a place for families to come to, whether that's people coming to the area that have never lived here before, whether that's people coming back to the area because they've gone away to university, or people choosing to stay here. And I think that the thing around that is then ensuring that we're keeping skill set and attracting skill set to the area, and undoubtedly that's going to have a massive benefit for businesses, because obviously, you know, the more skill set on offer that you have, the stronger your businesses are, and as I say, I think businesses are built by people, and so that's one of the benefits. And through this branding and this movement almost of Staffordshire, is to have something that we can all rally behind, and say, yes, this is what it is. And just to reiterate, this isn't about having this Staffordshire logo across all of your website or all of your kind of leaflets and things. This is around a subtle nod to it and saying, yeah, we're proud of that, and you know, this is something we are proud to be part of. And the next one is investment, whether that's from, you know, external government or wider, or even from, you know, your private investment, is looking at the area and seeing this is an area people want to be part of. This is a club we want to be involved in, and it's attracting that investment to the area. I think also, almost it's a case of success breeds success. So, you know, if all of the businesses in Staffordshire are saying how great Staffordshire is, you know, and how well all these businesses are doing, and you've got a good platform there too, where we're doing individual marketing as businesses, but also a wider view. I think it's almost people want to be part of the club, and you know, it's that thing of success breeds success. And I think the more people that see the successes that are coming out of Staffordshire, the more people will see that actually this is the place to be, this is the place to invest, this is the place to build a family, this is the place to build a warehouse, or whatever. So that's that's kind of the benefits that I see of this. And also it's quite interesting being involved in the steering group, because it allowed me to kind of, as a business, take a bit of a critical view. I had my criticisms at times, but actually see where we were going with this, and why and how a business should be involved. And I think first and foremost, the areas where, you know, I'm committed to being involved in this is to, number one, maybe subtly have the branding involved on the website or on some of the leaflets or the marketing we send out, but also the rhetoric around what Staffordshire is. And Christian touched upon some of the wordings and some of the stories we're trying to tell, is making sure that when we are out and about, and whether we are in London, whether we're in Staffordshire, whether in Manchester or over abroad, is the story about Staffordshire is the same. And I think that joined up thinking, again, will allow the same image. When people hear about Staffordshire, they're getting the same story, which backs up, you know, what else they've heard. And so they're the two main areas that I feel that businesses can really begin to promote this. And Christian mentioned about the ambassadors, so, you know, getting on board with that. And you know, a business has a big place in the community, and I think actually in this sense, the businesses can have the most impact, because they're the ones that are talking to people outside of the county, outside of the region, and outside of the country even. And so, you know, as I say, when I first started, I was really unsure as to what this would be and how it would fit and how it would look. But having been involved and come out the other side, I can definitely see where, as a business, being involved in this could be part of something really special for Staffordshire for the future. So get involved is what I would say. So over to you now, Christian.
Thanks, Josie. And yes, I can certainly vouch for that kind of critical eye that you cast over all of our plans as we went through, but always hugely constructive as well. So thanks very much. Okay, just in terms then of wrapping up and just talking you through, so next steps around on your approach to place marketing and getting that Staffordshire story out there. This new place brand was launched at a virtual event last week on Friday, where we had over 200 influencers, business leaders, public sector leaders from across Staffordshire and across the Midlands, hearing us talking about the new Staffordshire story. We are also in the process of recruiting a place brand manager who will lead this work moving forward. That person should be in post early in the new year. They will report into a new place board that we are creating, which will consist of probably a dozen or so initially representatives from across business, from across the public sector, from across education as well, who will oversee and guide our place marketing work moving forward. Key element of that will be, as Josie mentioned again, the ambassador program, and looking for you and for other kind of key influencers and leaders from across Staffordshire to join us on that program and to help become our sales force for Staffordshire, to go out and tell that clear, consistent, compelling story about this fantastic place. And the place brand manager will be working on initially a 3-year place marketing plan, place marketing plan. There's too many places in there. A place marketing plan for Staffordshire moving forward. In terms of how we judge the success of this, as I mentioned earlier, this is a long-term strategy. It's not a project. It's not a 6-month campaign. It's essential over time that strategies and plans across the county from a range of different organisations all speak to that Staffordshire story and this new approach that we were taking. That we see that strong cross-sector place leadership, which is about Staffordshire and not about the organisations within it. That we have a vibrant full ambassador programme with that sales force going out, talking up our county at every opportunity, and that we invest in all the things, whether it's collateral events, advertising, media, that showcase all that Staffordshire has to offer. And we also just need to keep being bold, to do things differently, to not carry on doing the same old stuff. So, Staffordshire, active, adventurous and fun, inspiring and applying ingenuity, cherishing our natural livability. We are the nationally valued centre of the UK. We are Staffordshire. Thank you very much.